Hey everyone, this is Tell the Truth Sports Radio. I'm your host, Ron Fitch. I'm going to tell you the truth about the Kansas City Baltimore game. I'm going to break this down truthfully. Baltimore started out really good, passing and running, and Lamar looked pretty sharp. And then Kansas City came right back down like a normal Kansas City drive. Xavier Worthy ties the score up, and he looked real. It looked like he ran it like everybody was standing in motion and he just ran past all the defenders and scored. But Kansas City, they did this in the Dolphins game. They drove, well, after a turnover, they couldn't convert a touchdown. And Juju got the ball knocked out of his hands, which is understandable. But they missed the next time they got a drive, they had a chance to go up 17-7. And they missed on Pacheco, just whiffed. It was a bomb. Pacheco catches the ball. It's a touchdown. They're up 17-7. And they're off to the races. But then Tucker, which rarely misses kicks, missed one. And then he made one. It's 13-10 halftime. Now, Kansas City does what they do when they got the ball in the second half. It went down the field and efficiently went down. Rice is really Rashid Rice is really, really, really good. Uh, he had 9 targets, 7 catches for 103 yards. He oh he's a great route runner, and they were able to efficiently go down and take the lead. There's back and forth, and Kansas City, with a chance to go up 27-10. It's a third down near the 50-yard line. It's a screen past the P Ryan. If P Ryan catches the ball, he's probably going to run in for a touchdown or get close to the goal line where they could go up 27-10. Game's over because they've outplayed uh, the Ravens. Lamar was off, missing throws, missing screen passes, with happy feet in the pocket, and they're ready to go and put them away. They could fail to convert. And I'm thinking to myself, Baltimore's going to go down and score a touchdown. They went down and scored a touchdown. Isaiah Likely, that was a nice scramble by Lamar Jackson. He catches the ball and ends up going 49 yards, weaving his way into the end zone. Now it's a got to have a drive because Baltimore's got momentum. If they get the ball back the way they were in rhythm, they could take the lead. And that got to have a drive, what the Shams did. They drove down the field 70 yards, and then which is just bad coverage by Baltimore. I'm surprised. Xavier Worthy scores. Humphreys let him go past, and there was no safety help. And Mahomes saw that because he has a good vision and hit him on stride, 35-yard touchdown. They got the lead. And then what happens is Baltimore goes down and gets a field goal. They drive right down the field, but they don't score because Lamar Jackson misses another pass. Now, Kansas City is a great play. Kansas City's driving, and now they're looking to put the game away, and this was big. On third down, Patrick, the ball gets batted down, and then Patrick Mahomes has the wherewithal to catch the ball because if that's an interception, 2 minutes left, Baltimore's going down the field scoring, and they're going to go for 2. So they have to punt the ball away, and at the 13-yard line, here comes Lamar Jackson. Had some good runs and passes. He did good on this drive, and it was a nice bomb to it was a nice 38-yard pass to Brian Cook. Now that from the Kansas City 48, now they had to 10 their business, and he missed Likely wide open, missed him because he has happy feet, and then he does make a good pass to Zay Flowers, and Isaiah Likely ends up dropping. No, he had Zay Flowers wide open on second and goal, misses him, and then he throws a nice pass to Isaiah Likely, nails it, and they call a touchdown by Isaiah Likely. Foot was out of bounds. They lost. And this is a game I could blame both teams. I have criticism of both teams. Kansas City, you got to make those catches because they could have put this game away easy. And their defense was tired when Lamar got the ball and he drove down the field. He did good with that. But Kansas City, the Pacheco drop for a touchdown, but they had to settle for a field goal. Juju Smith-Schuster was a good play by a defender, knocking the ball down. I got that. But P. Ryan's drop. Now, Mahomes could have let him a little. He could have floated it a little better. He let him a little too far, but it's still very catchable. If that play is connected, they're scoring a touchdown. It's 27-10, and now you could pin your ears back, and now you don't have to worry about Lamar scrambling like he did, and it's a blowout. But that didn't happen. They got the ball back, and Lamar Jackson did good. He lost weight. He did good running, played, but they didn't score a touchdown, what they needed to score, cut the lead to 7 on field goal. First, I'm going to start with Mahomes. He was solid. Mahomes was very, very solid in this game. 20 of 28, 291 yards, and 101.9 QBR. When Mahomes has happy feet, his IQ is so high that he could throw. He's always processing where the receivers are, how the zone's played on the run. But he could also make the throws in the pocket, the on-time throws on the pocket too. And Lamar, unless it's a one read, he can't. He reads once, doesn't see it, he runs. And he could get away. He's so gifted athletically because he does make good throws, but it's the same thing I've seen for 7 years. And people will fight to defend him, but I look for improvement because I know how talented he is. I know how good Baltimore is, but it's the same. He's a little better, but it's the same thing where he reads, he takes off. And he wants to run better, and the announcers don't help the situation none. Oh my goodness, he lost weight. Man, look at the attitude he has. Oh, he's more determined. What a great leader he is. Okay, that's good. But to win a Super Bowl, you got to have the ability to process and make throws. Jordan Love does. And part 2, I'll break down the Eagle-Packer game. Jordan Love can. Jalen Hurts, I want to see do that better. Can you make those anticipation throws on time? You have to be able to do that. Joe Burrow could do that. Josh Allen could do that sometime. He gets happy feet too. But you can't just run like that, like you did tonight. Okay, you rush for 100 yards, but he gets hurt a lot every year, and you're not going to be there at the end of the season. Like a couple years ago, he played Cincinnati. He's not there. He's not available. And if they say, okay, you're just going to run, he's going to get hurt. Now, as far as Derrick Henry, it feels like a square peg in a round hole. He ran okay, but he's better with a full head of steam getting the ball. Like Najee Harris, big running backs need a full head of steam, the whole setup where they could use their power and their giddy up. Smaller backs get going quicker. Like Eric Dickerson needed that hole like that because he was so great. He was quick and strong, but he had to have that when you're running through the A gap, it's got to be open. And Derrick Henry didn't have that because it seems like he doesn't fit in this offense. Now, this whole year, they could implement him in. If they implement him in, they'll at least get to the NFC Championship because their defense is solid, all 3 levels. You're going to miss Patrick Queen. I saw that yesterday when Rashee Rice was running down the middle in their zone. But he just has to get better. I don't know if he is Lamar Jackson. It's just like Greg Roman had him rolling, but they didn't want Greg Roman's coordinator. Running the option, the NFL 2024 version of the option, that's what Baltimore runs. It works. It only works if in key situations he can make the main key throws. Like that throw to Zay Flowers in the end zone, you got to make. And you might not get to the NFC Championship the way it's set up unless he throws, unless he can make those anticipation throws and he can get a little better pocket presence, not always try to run when he has to, because he's a great runner. You use that God-given athleticism. But I just don't see it. I just don't. I understand about the accomplishments of numbers. You're going to put that up, and because they're Baltimore's such a good, disciplined, solid team on all levels, they're going to be successful. But there's some teams coming up that you better watch out for. I'm going to give you two: the Indianapolis Colts, and I'm going to see how A.R. Richardson could process and be a good quarterback in the pocket and run with my guy Jonathan Taylor, and the team. That's my sleeper team is the New York Jets with Breece Hall at running back and Aaron Rodgers both healthy. That great defense. If Salah doesn't mess it up, that's the team I believe is going to be the Chiefs and the Jets. Because I don't think Cincinnati, they lost some key players. As great as Burrow will be great if he's healthy. But they're missing pieces on defense. The Jets are complete. And if the Jets played the Chiefs yesterday, Aaron Rodgers is driving down the field for 2 touchdowns, not settling for a field goal to make it 27-20. They'd have scored to make it 27-23. Then they got the ball back and made it 30-27. They took full of it, and it might not have been that far because of how good the Jet defense is. I don't think they allow Xavier Worthy to run wild. That's my sleeper team. I don't know if they get to the Super Bowl. At the very least, I believe that team will be an AFC championship, provided that everyone's healthy. I'm telling you right now. But I like what I saw at Kansas City, but you got to make those catches. When you're playing a team that they're in a close, evenly contested matchup, both talent for talent, you can't drop the ball. Now, they got away with mistakes like the fumble by Hardman by the end zone against Buffalo, and they were able to survive when the Buffalo kicker misses the kick. You're trying for a three-peat. You're there. They're focused. Everyone's hungry. You got Andy Reid, but you also need breaks. But you also need you can't afford mistakes. You can't afford the drops in key situations because you're not going to have that good fortune this time. So you can't, and interceptions happen. That was a bad interception by Mahomes, and then they got away with it when the field goal was missed by Tucker missing the field goal. But it's the first week, so I want to see how both those teams get better. But I'm telling you, I'm right. I love the Colts, and I really love the Jets. I think Buffalo takes a step back. Jets are better than the Dolphins. Jets will give the Niners trouble or outright beat them at home and the Niners home on Monday night. I really believe that. All right, this is second part of my show, and this Green Bay and Philadelphia is a really good game. Philadelphia ended up taking it 33-28, 34-29, I'm sorry. And there were some key plays and key blunders that cost Green Bay dearly. After 2 bad possessions by the Eagles, the Green Bay only scored 6 points when they had the short field after some blunders by the Eagles, a fumble. It could have been 14-0, and they could have been behind the whole way the Eagles struggled. And that could have really changed the game. But the Eagles settled down. There's only 6 down. When you have 2 good scoring opportunities, you only get 2 field goals, it always comes back to bite you. And the Eagles came right down the field with Mr. Saquon Barkley. He's going to be a star in this offense. It's not the same as Derrick Henry where it doesn't quite fit. This fits perfectly for the Eagles. Saquon Barkley, he makes a great catch on an 18-yard touchdown. Green Bay comes back and scores. Jalen Reed, great 33-yard touchdown. This is the problem. It was an offside penalty by the Eagles on the extra point, and Green Bay tried to get greedy, so they went for a 2 and they get it. That was one of the key special team miscues. And the Eagles end up scoring on Barkley running for 11-yard touchdown. He just looks great in this offense. Catching, throwing, just perfect. Uh, Jordan Love, Jalen Reed, who looks like a star, 70-yard touchdown. I'm gonna tell you something about Green Bay. Everybody's the same age, all of the offensive weapons, and they're all on rookie contracts, and they're all going to develop. They're all going to have growing pains, which they did today, but they're all going to develop. And then the Eagles end up getting a field goal, which was good for them with 4 seconds left because they got the ball right back and they go right down the field. AJ Brown, 67-yard electrifying touchdown, and he outruns the secondary. It's beautiful. Now, here comes Green Bay on a long drive, and this is back and forth. This is, wow, it's going to be an offensive game. Jordan Love to Christian Watson to great route runner. He's a future star. Out of all those young guys, he's the dude. Got size, can catch, and they get the lead. But now one of the costliest plays of the game was Jordan Love's. It was a bad interception, but Braun, who was the star of the game on defense, kind of interfered with the pattern he ran, and Blankenship made a great read on the play. It was Jordan Love's fault, but it was also a great play by the Eagles' combination. Interception leads to Mr. Saquon Barkley up the middle for a 2-yard touchdown. At times, I don't think that the Eagles necessarily need to tush push where you got Saquon Barkley. And another thing the Eagles might end up doing, setting you up for the tush push and faking it and going down for either Goddard or one of the tight ends catching you off guard because you're selling out on that play. That's something the Eagles could do, especially on third down when they might go for the fourth. That's something they might use. Just look for that in the future. And then Green Bay's driving down the field. Oh, they're going to score a touchdown the way they were moving, but they end up stalling, and they have to kick a field goal instead of going in after. I believe Jalen Hurts. He had a bad. No, they're going. The Eagles are going away for going down the field for a put away touchdown. Okay. Jalen Hurts scrambles, throws a bad interception. Green Bay gets the ball, drives all the way to the length of the field, and they stall at the Philadelphia 8-yard line. A couple bad penalties, and end up having to settle for a field goal. Green Bay gets the ball again, and they're driving, and they miss a huge field goal. And Eagles did a pretty good job on Love, but he was inaccurate on time at times. 17 of 34. 83 QBR rating. He had 2 touchdowns, 1 bad pick. So he got hurt. I hope he was okay. But now the Eagles get the ball, and it was 2 on third down, 2 bad third down penalties, a holding play and a real bad holding play where Barkley got held, and Jalen Hurts was scrambling. He didn't even have to hold Barkley because Jalen Hurts was running one way. Barkley's going the other. He's not going to throw it across the field. You didn't have to hold him. He did anyway. It cost him the game. It cost him a chance to move down and win the game because the Eagles with that self or field goal, it gave Green Bay more time, but they didn't. Green Bay gets the ball with a little bit of time left. Jordan Love gets hurt. I hope he's okay. And the Eagles come away with. That was a good win by the Eagles because they played pretty good defense. Green Bay was kind of sound on defense, but they're young. On both sides of the line of scrimmage, and you see young mistakes. They're a contender. I don't know if they're going to go to the Super Bowl. Jordan Love looks like he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. The problem is he'll just make inaccurate throws out of nowhere, even when he's not in a clean pocket. That he did that a couple of times in the 49ers game. He's got to keep getting better because he has the ability to be one of the best quarterbacks in the entire NFL. But that's what I see. And Jalen Hurts was good, but they're not totally reliant on him having to just run the ball and run out. He was 20 of 34, 278 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had 80.3 QB rating, but the one thing about Jalen Hurts that makes me nervous is every time he scrambles out of the pocket, he throws the ball away. He'll just throw it in the stands. And then when he didn't, he threw that bad interception. When he's in the pocket, he's pretty sound. The thing is, I like to see him with a little more patience in the pocket. Not as bad as uh, Lamar Jackson, but Lamar Jackson so fast, at times he can get away with that. But Hurts, I like to see him continue this maturation, and they got to figure out how he could. The way his body is shaped, it's hard for him to be flexible enough to kind of scramble and throw it like Mahomes or Jordan Love on the. Jordan Love could throw the ball off his back foot really good, but the only problem with Hurts is when he scrambles, he just gives up and kind of throws the ball away. When he scrambles, you're a defender. That's good. Let's get him out of pockets. And then when he tries to run, Green Bay had a spy, so he wasn't ineffective as a runner, which that helped Green Bay. Green Bay didn't make so many mistakes. That would have helped because Hurts only had 33 yards rushing on 13 attempts. You did your job on defense. The problem was Barkley got away with a little. He got 109 yards and 24 rushes with 3 touchdowns. AJ Brown was great. Devontae Smith was great. And they had good route runners. For a big guy, AJ Brown runs good routes. And Smith does. He's an Alabama guy. And they've had that connection for years since they were at Alabama. Defensively, I like the secondary is pretty good. I'll tell you something. Zach Braun was great tonight. And I'm gonna tell you who I really like is Quentin Mitchell, the rookie from Toledo. They got a good one. He got burned once, had a penalty, but he has good ball skills. He looks, some cornerbacks looks clueless when the ball's in the air and they'll come in penalties. This guy sees the ball. He's hunting for the ball. He has a lot of confidence. I like how he plays. But overall, and now my real issues. Roger Goodell is a blithering idiot. I wish I could say something stronger, but I just can't. But Brazil, I knew as bad as the crime was in Brazil, I kind of knew they were going to do whatever they could to make sure there was no embarrassing incidents. So they put on their best foot forward, as terrible as their government is. They didn't want that stain where if something happened to NFL players, this is just embarrassing. So I knew they were going to put their best face forward and show Brazil how. And Brazil's beautiful, but they had issues with crime and just it was bad. Players had to stay in, but that's not the issue because they looked like they did pretty good with that. My issue is the football field. My issue is if you're going to have a game in Brazil, do it in the preseason. I see all the London games and Germany games. They're not rivalry games. They're not key games. Okay, I'm cool with that. This is a big game. Had to be, if you want to play this one Friday game, this had to be in Lambeau Field. This had to be in Lincoln Financial Field. This greedy pig called Roger Goodell did what he did. He did. They're smiling. They should have put him in a pig pen. He's a greedy pig. Ugh. And then they're slipping because the field key slips. The one penalty it was a key penalty on the Green Bay defender. And then there was a slippage when Jordan Love had a chance for a completion. The receiver slipped. It was just bad. Ugh. He's just so greedy. Want to go international, but that's not unwise. So this was, and then the players didn't want to go, and they could care less about them. They don't care about player safety. They don't care about the players. They care about the money. They care about international praise. They care about getting that international dollar. They don't care if the players get hurt. I hope Jordan Love did get hurt because of the field, and I hope he's not out for a significant time because I love watching that guy play. And when I'm critical of these quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts and Jordan Love, and even times I could be on Mahomes for different things, not much, because he's one of the greats to ever play. It's constructive. I want to see how you can improve from now to the end of the year. What can you do to improve? That's usually my criticism, not hate. So I just wanted to put that out there.